When the Canucks were dropping like a meteor to earth in the end of last season, and you looked at their roster and you tried to figure out who are all the guys who are not going to be back, somewhere in that list, and maybe near the top of it, was Alex Burrows. It wasn't only because Burrows had gone from being a first-line winger to a fourth or maybe a third-line player, a guy who would bounce around the lineup, but it was also that he was due to make $3 million in the last year of his contract and had a cap hit of 4.5. It just seemed onerous, and it didn't seem like maybe that would fit the Canucks' plans. In fact, even Alex Burrows told me the other day that if he was asked in March and could have been honest then, he would have said he probably wouldn't have been back. Now, Chris Higgins was bought out from the Canucks. Alex Burrows was not. And that surprised him, but it also energized him. Look, he knew he was going to play somewhere. He wasn't finished with hockey. But having thought that maybe the Canucks were finished with him, to be brought back was a huge boost to him. They're bringing him back for his leadership and for his character, and as much as anything, his attitude. Here's a guy who was a first-line winger in the National Hockey League for about 4 years, and granted, his first-line mates were Henrik and Daniel Sedin, two of the highest scorers in the game. But he's gone from being a first-line winger to the point where he's happily going to play on the fourth line if that's where he's assigned. Now, so far at training camp, it's only day one, but he's skating with Brandon Sutter on a potential third line, so that's a good thing for him. But the point is, and the coaching staff and management understand this, he is willing to do anything he can to help this team. If that means 8 minutes on the fourth line, if it means he's a penalty killing specialist, heck, if it even means he sits out every third or fourth game and works with the young players after practice, he'll do that. It's a great survivor story. Now, Burrows himself would say nobody should feel sorry for him. He's had a great career, and his career is still going. But for a guy who once upon a time was about, in his estimation, 2 weeks away from quitting hockey because he was tired of being in and out of the lineup in the East Coast League, making $400 a year, for him to have clung for a decade now to NHL employment and still be with the only team that he's played for is a great, great thing for Alex Burrows, and I think it's also a pretty good thing for the Vancouver Canucks.